What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. I appreciate y'all sticking with me over this past week and showing that support. Means a lot to me. Been AFK from the content scene for a second. Just a lot going on with life lately, so I just had to take a second back and just relax and get my mind right to put out some banging content for you guys, because this season is a little slow with the weekly content drop being on Tuesday. There really isn't much to cover outside of builds and maybe some god roll weapons with some patch notes, something like that, with changes in actual gameplay. But besides that, a very slow season for content. But I still appreciate y'all coming back, hanging out with me. Like I said, means a lot to me. So right here in today's video, we're going to be going over the new Forgiveness SEVER Mission, which we are cleansing Zavala of his nightmare of his wife. Also, we are collecting our Calus Automaton in here and our Calus Bobblehead, so you can get that nice Reaper seal done for this season. So similar to what we had with week 2 in the reconciliation mission for Aldrin, this forgiveness mission is basically the same as last week's grief mission with a few little changes inside of it. So when we first come into the mission here, instead of going right like we had to last week where we had to clear out that garden where our Automatron was, this time we can just go straight right into that area that had the electrical fields, and there will be some enemies that we have to deal with. Super nice that we don't gotta go adventure around this time too much. It's a pretty straightforward path, because last week when we were inside of that grief mission, we opened up some doors and took care of that electrical field right here. Now, we do have to still grab that heavy wrench that we used before, just deposit it in a separate section. So when we walk over to this area, we can grab this wrench and we just kind of head back to where we were before, where that electrical was. But instead of going left, this time we can just go straight across to the area, and you will see where it's directing us to take it. We deposit it in there, and it allows us to move into a gigantic room where we have to clear waves and waves of enemies, just like we did last week with Grief. Now, inside of this room, we do have an Automatron, but I definitely suggest wiping out all of the enemies first, just because we do have a second little different part inside of here. Instead of just wiping out the normal Scorn that are inside of that room, after we do that, there will be some Nightmare, and I think they called it Festering Scorn. Right there, all we have to do is wipe out a couple extra Nightmares and Chieftains for that room. They will just spawn later on after you wipe out the normal enemies, and then we can set down our beacon to progress through the mission. But before we leave the room, you can see right here, when you are looking at the beacon where you have to deposit it, if you turn around 180 and walk straight into the other room across the hallway, you will see our Calus bot right here, giving us our message, which progress our Hear, Don't Heed triumph for our Reaper seal. We only got 2 weeks left with Cadel and her nightmares. So after we collect that Automatron, go set down your essence, and the rest of the mission is basically the same in my opinion. Once we set that essence, that beacon down, we can climb up these stairs where we talk to Zavala again, where he is interacting with the nightmare of his wife, where we just have to wait for that to end, and we can progress through the door once it opens. Now, progressing through this door, super easy, like I said, just like before. A little jumping to get around the water, or whatever you would call it, inside of the ship here. But we do have a Calus Bobblehead as well on our way. So super easy to grab this one actually. Once we make this jump right here where I am shooting, you jump up on that circle kind of tube, and our guy is just jamming up top, doing his thing, and we got our 7th Calus Bobblehead. Once again, only 2 more. Both going to be in our last 2 SEVER missions. Same as the Calus Automatron bot that we just got as well. Now, after you collect this Bobblehead, you are onto the boss room, which is exactly the same as Grief last week. Shoot your Egregores, link, follow the path down this hole, and we are at our boss room. Now, for this boss fight, just really quick, once again, super easy. clear out a bunch of Scorn that'll spawn, and then the Nightmare will come back into our realm where we can damage him. Once we do a third of his health bar, the Nightmare disappears again into that other realm. We have to wipe out a certain number of Scorn. Once again, that keeps spawning throughout this cave that Zavala is in. Once we defeat enough Scorn enemy, the boss will come back, and then we can finish our DPS on him for that second third of his health bar. Once again, disappears. Third and final iteration, just wipe out waves of that Scorn enemy until our boss comes back. Defeat him really quickly. He's a pretty easy boss in my opinion. He likes to stomp you away, so Galahorn is nice. If you're up close and personal with the Bonk Hammer, definitely also a good choice to go through this. But once you beat him, super easy. Collect that chest and free Zavala of his nightmares. The story behind this one was absolutely banging again. Gotta love what they did with the story last week especially, and I'm excited to see what Caitlus has to do with inside of her nightmares. I am excited for those new missions coming next week. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Get those 2 collectibles within our SEVER mission right here, Forgiveness. Thank you all again. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.